Alafia. I'm Philip John Neimark, the founder of the IFA Foundation International, and I would like to welcome you to another iteration of the weekly Ifascope. This one's really very interesting because it is Ofun Obi. Ofun in the temporal everyday side, giving us no room for wiggle, no wiggle room. Other than to follow what Ifa says and what you know inside yourself and here Ifa would do in any given situation. It's the morality which drives Ifa. It's not a matter of 10 commandments or what your priest or anybody says about this. It's a matter of going inside yourself and saying, hey, what would Ifa do? What would I want to do? I'd like to be treated in the same way that I treat others. I'd like to be part of the community. I'd like to be part of the planet that I live on, and I'd like to take care of the animals and the birds and the fish and everything else, and in no way destroy or kill them for no reason whatsoever. I mean, those are the kind of basic things that we have to think about each and every time that we get Ofun as the determinant. And in doing that, we're going to be much happier, and we're going to have a much better life, and everything's going to go well. So I cannot understand why anybody would, do the other. On the other hand, frankly, I do see how people go for the short-term fix, the short-term opportunity that they think is, appearing before them. And short-term opportunities invariably lead to long-term disappointment. So if you can change yourself around that way, you're going to be much better off. On the emotional spiritual side, it is endless opportunities. Now that, by the way, is not 1, 2, 3, or there's 1 or 4 or 5, or there's another one. It is a matter of more than the normal amount of opportunities being available if you look, if you're aware, if you're sensitive to them occurring. And then choosing your opportunities based upon their long-term or their Ifa worldview. That'll always be very healthy for you. That'll always be very strong, for you to. I can hear my dogs barking. There must be somebody in the neighborhood. But at any rate, that is going to get you the results that you need. That's going to help you to make the decisions. The Ofun on the everyday side and the Obi on the emotional spiritual side are really, a two-part advance in your life, in your satisfaction, in your sharing with other people and being part of the community. And more, that's what I get from people. That's what Iavasa gets, and the number of readings she does, and the people who come to visit her sculptures, the retreat. It is about wanting to feel this community, not just of people who parrot what they think Ifa should be, but of people who have searched their souls and who have found out what Ifa was meant to be. At any rate, all of this is a long way of telling you the energy comes off path. And it's up to us to get it down here, to on path again. It's off path, by the way, with Ika for the everyday side and Erosun for the emotional spiritual side, meaning that if there are items or decisions to be made, we must think about whether or not we've seen similar things like this in our past. And if we have, we must deal with it in a different fashion. We must deal with it in a way that is going to give us the kind of joy and happiness that we need. And on the emotional, spiritual side, it's not just measure twice, cut once. It's measure 3 or 4 times and cut once. Be sure that you're choosing the right opportunity. Otherwise, it's going to be, very disappointing. Expresses that this is going to result in negative relationships if we don't do anything about it. It might be with your significant other, it might be with your child, it might be with your boss, it might be with a whole bunch of things, and it might be for different things for different people. But each and every one of you must respond to that in a way that is sensible. And the sensible way for that, by the way, is through a bow. The bow that must be used comes from the Erosu Meiji. I mean, it's very strong. You need this bow to make the right decisions, to see the right decisions, to take, advantage of the opportunities that exist, and to turn yourself this way or that way upon the opportunities that aren't good for you. What is the bow? Well, you take your I'm hesitating here because it's always difficult for me on a situation. I mean, not that many people have a rumula. For those of you who have a rumula, it's not an issue. For those of you that don't, pick something which represents a rumula, where you can, feel it in here until you have the opportunity someday of getting one. But for all of you, it requires coffee. You take your actual rumula, you bring them down, you take 2, not 1, but 2 tea candles, 1 for each side, you light them, and you put black coffee in front of them. And that black coffee obviously is the, spanking, let's put it this way, that way, and of your staying alert, of your being aware, of your looking for that item which resonates to the, previous past and changing up your decision on it. Do that. You're going to find that everything opens up for you. All those things that you want open up for you. And that's the way we take this and we push it down to here. So, that's it for this week. Let's see how we do. Love and blessings.